available to me. I'll give you a quick synopsis. I'm 42 years old. Last year I used to weigh 203 pounds.
None.
No, I'm not finished.
None. Yeah, you
that
are.
Was last year.
Yeah, you are.
Last year. This year I weighed 165.
No, ma'am. I said you're finished. You're finished.
I'm done?
Yep.
There's nothing left for me.
Not realistically.
Well, thank you.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Because I'm 42?
See, it's the age and the weight. And then if you have any children.
So my kids are...
Okay, ma'am, I don't need to...
What up, YouTube? I am Dom Knight. This is Knight Talks. And in honor of the person we're talking about today, decided to put on a shirt with some buttons. Alright, so we are back with another burning question, okay? Make sure you like and subscribe to the video before we jump into this. I'm trying to get 100 subs by July. Goal with some size, eyes on the prize. Alright, let's get it. So, who was the guy in the intro? Alright, a lot of y'all might know who he is. But if you don't, that was the infamous Kevin Samuels, okay? Alright, now if you don't know who he is, I'll explain to you. But first, let me ask the question of the day. Is Kevin Samuels an asshole? Yep. Now, we're going to get into this. Now, if you don't know who Kevin is, Kevin's been going hard on the internet. He's dominating YouTube. He's dominating a lot of stuff. He's taking over social media and everything. He's got celebrities talking about him. Everybody's talking about him, all right? So, let's find out who Kevin Samuels is, all right? So, we're going to get into a little education about this man. All right. Kevin Samuels was born on the 13th of March, 1969 in Atlanta, Georgia. He has been passionate about fashion and lifestyle from his early days. Kevin has completed his high school graduation from Millwood High School. In 1987, he attended the University of Oklahoma, where he studied chemical engineering and received a university degree in 1991. All right, now, not gonna bore you with this man's life story, okay? But he has a background in sales, okay? And he's a professional image consultant. All right, now these days, he's a YouTuber, okay? His content started as sort of a men's help deal, okay? It was to teach him about style and fashion, lifestyle, things like that, okay? He spoke exclusively to men for years, all right? And kind of giving them the tough love treatment that you see him give the women in his videos, okay? So, keep that in mind before we think this is just about women.
You got a big dick?
Huh?
You have a big dick?
I mean, it's above average. I ain't no Ron Jeremy.
No. I asked you if you had a big dick. I didn't say it was above average.
I don't know what that is, really.
Nigga, you know if you got a big dick or not. Stop the bullshit. Every dude know whether or not he got a big dick. I know I got a big dick. You don't know?
I mean...
You don't have a big dick. That's the point. You don't have a big dick. You don't have a big wallet. You a fat dude.
Now, why are we asking this question? He's been blowing up online, especially in the black community, all right? People have been criticizing him for his harsh and brash style with women, and people want him canceled. Then there's the other side, you know, where people love what he does. They think he's doing good for the community. He's making a difference in relationships for black men and women. You know, a lot of people do think that. So, there's two sides to every story, all right? Now, let's talk about some of his talking points, all right? And a lot of them are a little controversial, but he does have some interesting talking points. So let's jump into those, all right? High value man. HVM. Y'all know, I know all you little punks think you're a high value man. But in Kevin's eyes, you probably aren't. Now, this is his definition. This is not mine. This is not something. This is what he describes as a high value man. Let's get into this, all right? He must make $10,000 a month for at least 5 years consecutively, all right? He must have a network of other high value men who acknowledge him as a peer. No entertainers or athletes. And you must have a working title, like you're the CEO of this, or you know, you're the CFO of that. Something like that, all right? You can't just say you're an entrepreneur. That don't fly with him, all right? So I'm an entrepreneur, might not be a high value man, at least in this man's eyes, all right? That's just his definition. So, next thing, rankings. This is where all the ladies get really upset, all right? He has 3 simple questions to the ladies he speaks to. Height, weight, dress size. Now, this is a controversial point, right? Because I just did a video on weight and I've offended a couple of people, and that's okay. You know, I had a disclaimer. I'll let you guys know that wasn't my intention, but this is a thing, okay? And in his eyes, these are the things men look at when they're looking for a woman, especially a high value man, all right? He thinks they don't want overweight women, okay? He thinks they want 8s, 9s, and 10s in the faces, and that's natural, all right? No makeup, no weaves, none of that, all right? Your natural state. When you wake up in the morning and he turns over and looks at you, that's what he considers, all right? Now, these rankings have ruffled feathers. The rankings are what brought Kevin to the spotlight. It all started with a video, okay? And he ranked this woman, and he said she's average at best. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all probably seen that video. I'm not gonna put that up. She was average at best, okay? That's just my opinion. But everyone got so angry about that. Let's move on. Marriage. Marriage is a key thing he speaks of. He says over here, we deal in marriage, not engagements, not relationships, okay? Marriage is the key. And he thinks you should do it quickly. And he thinks you should do it young. Whether you agree with that or not, that is one of his main talking points. Let's move on. Now, SMV, sexual marketplace value. That is a very, very high talking point on his list. What is that exactly? Where do you rank in the sexual marketplace in the dating pool? So, say you're average in the face, a little overweight, and you don't do very well in life. You're gonna have a lower SMV. But if you're making more money, attractive, in shape, your SMV is gonna be higher, okay? And it all depends on your look and socioeconomic status. Goes for men and women there, not just women, all right? Now, this is the one that I think gets everyone more upset than anything. Children out of wedlock, single mothers. Now, Kevin, he likes to tell some of the single moms that they may never find love because of the choices that they have made in their younger days. A lot of people disagree with that. A lot of people agree with that. I'm not saying whether I do or don't. All I'm saying is this is a hot button topic on his show. If you ever watch his show, they'll call in, Kevin, I'm this, I'm that. I got 3 kids, you know, but I want a high value man. And one of the first things, after he ranks you, one of the first things he's gonna tell you is no high value man wants to deal with another man's responsibility. Whether you agree with that or not is up to you, but this is just what he says. So, those were the main talking points he has, all right? Now, let's get into it. Why do women have a problem with this man? Why do they hate him? Why do they want his head? Why do they want him canceled, right? Well, Kevin has a very harsh and abrasive way he speaks to some of the ladies. He gives it to them straight, no sugarcoating. They think it's wrong, he ranks them and judges their weight and looks and insists that that's what men want, especially high value, okay? Now, before we get into anything else, these women call him. He does not seek them, they seek him. So just keep that in mind. Now, why do men like him? Men like him because he's a voice that a lot of men wish they had. He tells women what the men want and our issues, as some feel, they are often overlooked. He tells women things most men would only dream of. Men feel that we can't speak what we actually feel in fear of being canceled. Hence, why people want Kevin Samuels canceled. Now, that's interesting, right? He does seem to have a mouthpiece that a lot of men don't. Because a lot of men fear what they say, especially if they put it online and put it out there for the world to see, could really have harsh consequences on their life. Okay? Now let's get into this. What are my thoughts on Mr. Kevin Samuels? Well, I love Kevin Samuels' show. I think it's very entertaining, and I think it's very insightful. I don't agree with everything he says, okay? I also think he is a little bit tough with the ladies, but it's entertainment at the end of the day. You are calling him. You do know how he speaks. You watch the show. You didn't just decide, you didn't find this dude and just say, I'm gonna call him. No, you watch the show. You know how he speaks. You know his talking points. You know the things he's gonna ask you. So I don't understand why people are so upset when these women choose to subject themselves to these things. That's just me. But moving on. I think Kevin is doing something good. Because yes, with the abrasive style and the name calling and the insults, he does tell the women the things I do think they need to hear at times. I think a lot of women, modern women, do look to be coddled in some areas of life. And not all women. And they don't always want it. But I do think some women look for somebody to tell them that what they're doing is okay and the mistakes that they've made are okay. And he's not telling them that. And men are reminded of the mistakes that we've made on a daily basis. It's usually in front of our face one way or another. Mistakes we've made in careers, it's in our face when we get our paycheck. You know, mistakes we've made with relationships, mistakes we've made with everything. It's in our face, and people have no problems reminding us of it. And a lot of women can often, they can be coddled by some people, and they're often told that it's okay. You do what you want, you live the way you want, and that is okay. Absolutely 100%. But just like the men, we all got consequences to our actions, right? I think Kevin just reminds them that, yes, ladies, there are going to be some consequences to your actions, all right? That still doesn't mean he has to use some of the words he used, doesn't mean he has to use some of the insults he used, doesn't mean he has to be as aggressive as he is. But you guys still got to understand, at the end of the day, this is a show for entertainment. If Kevin was soft with these women, people wouldn't watch. People want to see him freak out. People want to see him snap on the girls. I'm sure if Kevin had a coffee with these girls with no camera, the conversation would probably go vastly different. It may or may not, but that's what I think. All right? I don't think Kevin's a bad guy. I think he has a great show. I think he's doing something good. And do I think he's an asshole to answer the question? I'm going to say no. Gonna say no. And the main reason I'm gonna say no is because these women call in and choose to subject themselves to this type of treatment. Now, if I chose to go and let Mike Tyson punch me in the face every day, I don't think people feel bad for me after day one. You know what I'm saying? So, that's all I got. All right? I am Dom Knight. This is Night Talks. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Okay? All socials, Night Talks TV. Okay? I will be back on Wednesday with a reaction for you. Peace.